They're fast, powerful, and they stop on the dime. But how did these Black & Decker Sawcats come to be? The answer, coming up next. I am Ron Hazelton, and in this very first episode of the Black & Decker History Show, we will find out what makes the Sawcat lineup of professional-grade circular saws so special. But first, we need to find out how these saws came to be. Marshall B. Johnson is an industrial designer who worked for some of the most well-known small appliance companies. In 1960, Johnson became a package engineer and product designer for Black & Decker.
My dad had sent me a little advertisement out of the Baltimore Sun. It said, young man wanted to learn packaging engineering, Black & Decker. So I sent in a resume. Found out later that I was number 42 out of 48 people that had applied. For whatever reason, I wound up getting the job. So I stayed with Mom and Dad in Bel Air, Maryland, and then drove into Towson, Maryland, where Black & Decker was.
During his time at Black & Decker, Marshall oversaw many design projects, including the world's first cordless drill.
I first got hired at Black & Decker. They were doing their research on the world's first cordless drill. The drill was ugly. You wouldn't have given it to your worst enemy. So I had designed a little charger box for it, and also a foam package for it. And this was the one that the man who was in charge of the whole project, Bob Rowley, went on the Tonight Show. And he had the drill and a board and a drill bit and a power cable that plugged in. He drilled a couple of holes. Okay, we're really impressed. Oh, just a minute, Johnny. And he went over, he picked up a pair of scissors and cut the cord. Went back and drilled some. He'd go, what? Well, that was the introduction to the world's first portable battery-powered tool.
But in 1964, Black & Decker tasked Johnson to create a new line of heavy-duty circular saws that would withstand the abuse of job site conditions.
One day, the head of design tasked me to create essentially an almost indestructible saw that would still be square and accurate after a 50-foot fall off a building.
Johnson made several design variations to pass off to his superiors, including one very similar to Porter Cable's Speedmatic line. Eventually, a design was chosen that had the best features of all the prototypes that were made.
So what I did was design a linkage mechanism that allowed the upper guard to pivot when the blade depth is changed. I also included a built-in sawdust blower that directed air on the cutting line. I also wanted a way for the saw to come to a stop instantly as soon as the trigger is released. To achieve that, I developed a motor design that releasing the tool's power switch would result in a change of polarity. That stopped the blade almost instantly.
Soon after, there was also a need for a more budget-friendly line that didn't retain the electric brake. These saws were referred to as builder's Sawcats. Johnson eventually left Black & Decker in 1967 to pursue a career at Alcoa.
At the time, Black & Decker was not compensating the long-term engineers and designers. After 7 years at Black & Decker, I got a job offer to go to Alcoa. Then after 4.5 years there, they acquired Proctor Silex, then they acquired Hamilton Beach, got rid of wherever, and moved everything to Richmond, Virginia. Been there for 30 years. So many things that you can do in the time you have, and you miss that.